Welcome back. I am talking a little bit quietly because Mr. Keller is sleeping as late at night over here, but I want to make sure that I get this story to you ASAP. We are reading The Wild Robot Escapes, and we ended at chapter 9 last time. Chapter 10 is called The Routine. Reader, I don't want to bore you with every detail of our robot's farm routine. Many of her tasks were incredibly dull. Others were quite unpleasant. I'll just say that on any given day, Roz might have to be a mechanic or a veterinarian or a gardener or a plumber or a cleaner or a landscaper or a carpenter or an electrician or all of the above. Farm life kept Roz very busy indeed. Of course, she did have help. You already know about some of the machines, but the entire farm was equipped with technology that made life easier for everyone. Doors and gates opened automatically. The cows wore electronic collars that kept track of their health automatically. When a cow's udders were full, she simply had to stroll into the parlor, where she'd be milked by gentle machines automatically. All that milk was piped into storage tanks and cooled and bottled automatically. Once the milk truck was loaded up, it drove away and made its deliveries automatically. Mr. Sharif managed the business side of the farm. He dealt with customers and handled money and ordered supplies, and he did it all from the comfort of his home office. Now that he had a robot to do all the farm work, he hardly ever left the house. Roz was more content than she had ever expected to be. Most of her time was spent outdoors with animals, under the wide open sky. Even while laboring in the fields, she could always stop to smell the flowers, look up at the clouds, feel the cool air drifting out from the trees. And yet Roz was living two lives. When she had the farm to herself, she could play with the calves or run through the grass or chat with the wildlife. But whenever the Sharifs were near, Roz had to pretend to be a normal robot. She could never let them know who she really was. Chapter 11, The Stragglers. Wild geese are known for migrating in the autumn and in the spring. But exactly when a flock migrates is up to its members. Some flocks choose to fly early in the season. Others straggle far behind. And it was one of those straggling flocks that caught the attention of our robot. Honk, honk, honk. The geese were heard before they were seen. Their honking voices echoed across the farm. And then the flock appeared above the fields, flying in a wobbly V formation. They glided over the pasture and plunked down into the pond. None of them were very concerned as Roz approached. The geese had seen several similar creatures on the farm, and they knew there was nothing to fear. But they were about to learn that our robot was very different from the others. "Hello, geese," said Roz. "Welcome to Hilltop Farm." The geese froze. They stared at Roz with suspicious eyes. And then the biggest goose slowly swam over. "I've come across plenty of monsters like you," he said, "but I've never met one who could talk." "I am not a monster. I am a robot. My name is Roz." The goose scratched his head. "Well, it's nice to meet you, Roz the robot," he said at last. "My name is Wingtip, and this is my flock." Roz gave a friendly wave, and soon the flock was gathering around, curious to meet this odd character. As you can imagine, the geese were shocked to learn that Roz had a goose for a son. They asked her all kinds of questions about Brightbill, and about her old life on the island, and about her new life on the farm. Then Roz asked them a question of her own. "Do you think Brightbill's flock—" Roz asked them a question, sorry, of her own. "Do you think Brightbill's flock will ever come this way on their migration?" "Doubtful," said Wingtip. It sounds like his flock takes the eastern flyways. They'd never come this far west. The robot slumped with disappointment. However, we geese are full of surprises, added Wingtip. I promise you this, Roz. If we ever meet Bright Bill, we'll point him in your direction. The talk was interrupted by giggling and barking. The children were taking their dog for a walk. Roz couldn't be seen chatting with Geese, so she whispered a quick goodbye to her new friends and went back to work. And when she looked down at the pond later that day, she saw that the flock was gone. Chapter 12: The Homesick Robot. We all feel homesick at one time or another. Even the robot felt something like homesickness. Roz belonged with her son and her friends on her island, but she was determined to find her way back there. But how? If the robot was seen doing anything unusual, Mr. Sharif might have her destroyed. Roz had to be careful, so she calmly went about her farm work, day in and day out. But all the while, the homesick robot was secretly planning her escape. Sorry about that. I had to walk away for a second because I had something baking in the oven. We just finished chapter 12, and we are going to end today on chapter 13, The Electronic Signal. Beep, 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 beep. A message was flashing on Roz's computer. The drone was reporting that a gusty wind had sent it spiraling into the neighbor's bean field. So the robot grabbed this big, heavy toolbox and marched out to clean up the mess. Roz found the flying machine upside down, with its landing gear poking above the rows of leafy plants. It had some scrapes and scratches, but no major damage. She flipped it over, brushed it off, and tightened a few screws. Then she said, "Return to Hilltop Farm." The engine started buzzing, and the machine lifted off the ground and flew home. As Roz marched back, she cut through a strip of forest that separated the two farms. There were trees and ferns and rocks and shrubs and small forest animals. It was a little piece of wilderness. And suddenly the robot was thinking of that wild island she missed so much. Someday she would try to run away and escape to her true home. Was this the moment for her escape? Could it be as easy as sneaking off through these trees? No, it couldn't be that easy. Ahead on the other side of the trees, Mr. Sharif was sitting in his pickup truck, watching Roz. Because of the robot's electronic signal, he knew she had stepped off of the property. He had raced out there to see what she was up to. Roz marched over to the truck, and Mr. Sharif leaned out his window. He had a serious expression on his face. "Don't ever leave the property without my permission. Understand?" "I understand," said Roz. She understood all right. She understood now that she was always being watched. She understood that she was trapped on Hilltop Farm. Wonder where the next chapter will take us. Tune in next time to find out. I hope you are having a great day. I hope you have fun today. I hope you're safe. And I hope that you join me again tomorrow for another chapter of The Wild Robot Escapes. I'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye.